It's no joke that I had one of the world's longest labours. Oh my gosh. Remy is 9 days old today. Look at him. His onesie says, "Mummy makes me smile." Oh, so cute. Okay, I was in slow labour for a total of 12 days in the end. Now, I didn't even know that were a thing. I didn't think that existed. I thought that, you know, maybe like a few days before you start to maybe lose your mucus plug and you get like some contractions. But 12 days I was having full-on contractions for. Not really strong ones, like I couldn't cope, but some were pretty strong. Yeah, and I had other symptoms of early labour, but still, he just wanted to stay put. I just realised I've not put my rings back on yet, and the most likely would fit me now, so I could put my rings back on and Ray can stop calling me a single lady. Okay, so where it finally started was Thursday the 25th. He'd not been moving as much. It got to the evening, and I was like, he definitely hadn't been moving as much today throughout the afternoon and into the evening. And I was concerned because, let me tell you, he was the most active baby ever. Like, far more active than what Maya was. He used to move basically all day long, and the night time was his busiest time. So it got to the evening, I was like, I'm a little bit concerned here. I was also having contractions that were anywhere between 4 and 10 minutes apart for about 4 hours. They weren't getting any more regular, so I didn't think tonight's going to be the night after it happened in the previous however many nights before that anyway. But I was concerned about the movements. So me and Ray went to maternity assessment, and we were there quite a while just waiting to see a doctor. And the doctor essentially said, like, you're already overdue, so it kind of makes sense to get the ball rolling. Like, this is the second episode of reduced fetal movements, so the way we see it is there's no point taking a risk. We might as well start the process of induction. Right, can I just say, by this point, I'd had 7 sweeps. 7. So yeah, clearly the sweep front wasn't working. I think the sweeps probably kept bringing on the contractions and making them worse, looking back, but never really turned into anything. Anyway, so this was Thursday night. We waited to see the doctor. We saw the doctor at about 1 or 2 a.m. They admitted us then to the antenatal ward early hours Friday morning. So we totally had a false sense of hope. We were like, right, it's early Friday morning, tomorrow Friday, I'm going to be induced and he's going to be here by like Friday night. No, that did not happen. Thankfully, we were at my grandparents' Thursday night, so Maya went to bed there, so she wanted to sleep over. So Maya went to sleep there, and then we left there from the hospital. So I took her into bed Thursday night, took her to bed. I'm so glad I did, because I didn't see her till Sunday, which is the longest I've ever gone without her. That was tough, but that's a separate story. So yeah, totally like misled ourselves, because the ward was so busy. The delivery suites were so busy. We already couldn't go to the hospital that I was supposed to give birth at because they were too full. So we had to go to the other main hospital in Leeds. He's so perfect. I just can't stop looking at him. So yeah, it was super busy, super busy. Friday morning we woke up after a pretty bad night's sleep and thought, yeah, today's going to be the day. Asked some midwife, but they just kept telling us kind of how busy it was. We still thought like, oh, it'll probably be tonight. Friday night came around and still nothing. So we went to bed in the hospital again Friday night, thinking, right, we'll wake up in the morning, we'll be good to go. Thankfully, on Saturday morning, one of the midwives came around and said, I've got a proposition for you. Would you like to go to Harrogate to give birth at their hospital? So that's a good distance away from us. I think it took us like maybe 45 minutes to get there, maybe nearly an hour to get back, something like that. It was traffic and things as well. But I was so desperate by this point. I really, really wanted to see Maya. I wanted to be out of slow labour. I wanted to meet this one. We wanted some rest and just some escape from the same antenatal ward where I was 5 other women in my bay. And there were 2 other bays that were full as well. I think there were like 2 beds free in the whole ward. It was crazy. So what we did was we packed our stuff up, ready to leave the hospital, and we came home, had a quick shower, got some extra bits because I certainly had not packed enough for multiple nights in hospital. So we came home, got some extra stuff, and then headed to Harrogate. when we first walked into that hospital, we were like, well, this is different already. It's so much newer and nicer than Leeds. And obviously I love Leeds, it's my home city, and I was born in Leeds Hospital. So there was that, like, oh, he's not going to be born in Leeds, but really it doesn't matter, does it? So we got to Harrogate, it was beautiful. We got into the delivery suite and we're like, wow, it's really nice here. We walked into our room. It was big, it was so calming, it was just a nice temperature, like everything was really nice. As soon as we got there, they offered us food and drink, both me and Ray, see if he wanted some lunch as well. So this is a lot smaller of a hospital, and it was quieter. So of course, the midwives and the other healthcare staff had time to, you know, pay a bit more one-on-one attention to us. The midwives who were looking after us, first of all, swapped the chair out for Ray so that he could have a recliner chair. Now he could have cried just at that because he'd been sleeping on that like basic chair for the last 2 nights. They came with this big purple recliner armchair. So life were already good. Okay, so the plan of action was that they were going to break my waters. I'd been almost 2 centimetres dilated for nearly 2 weeks. So they thought, right, we're going to get in there and just break the waters, and hopefully that triggers a process. Had my bloods taken first, CTG done, when the bloods come back, it's water breaking time. Oh my gosh, that whole process of breaking the waters was horrendous. 2 different midwives had a go. I was only like not even 2 centimetres, just close to 2 centimetres, so they could barely get the little rod in there to do it. But thankfully, one of the midwives managed and they broke my waters. Now, this was at 4 o'clock, and by 7, 8 o'clock, the contractions were still not coming regularly. I was having some, but they were so irregular, which is how they'd been for 2 weeks. So they were like, right, we need to look at starting you on the hormone drip. And originally I was really against this because I had the hormone drip with Amaya after being induced with a pessary as well with Amaya, and I just did not like it at all. It brought on the contractions thick and fast, and they were really, really painful. So I wanted to put it off. So yeah, we waited a bit longer, give it another hour, give it another half an hour, and then at 8 o'clock I was like, right, let's just get on it because I'm not progressing anywhere, and you know, after your waters are broken, there is a higher risk of infection. So I was like, right, come on, let's get on with it. So we started off on a really low dosage of the oxytocin drip, and then they started to increase it. Now, I think it was about 10 o'clock. Me and Ray were just finishing a game of cards, which I absolutely annihilated him at, and that's just embarrassing, isn't it? Or in labour. Anyway, we just finished that, and then the contractions started to get more painful. So I think around 10 o'clock-ish, I laid on the bed, and I started to just relax there, and then I started with some gas and air not long after that. Of course, they were getting worse. The contractions were getting closer together and stronger. I was just having gas and air. I had no idea how many centimetres I was at this point. I thought, wow, this is pretty painful. Maybe I'm getting close. I don't know. Wishful thinking.